Afternoon. It's a hot afternoon up in southern Maine, and it's Don Airy here again. I got a Sunday story to tell you since it's a Sunday afternoon, and this one's about a preacher's kid. Me, I'm a preacher's kid. My father was a Nazarene pastor, and back in about 57, 58 years ago, back in the late 50s, we were living up in Dixfield, Maine, a town about, I think, about an hour and a half north of Portland, and he was digging out a new church in Dixfield back then, a town of about 2,000 people, just nice folk, just ordinary Maine folk, mill workers and farmers, it was next to Rumford. Rumford was a paper mill town, and you could tell because they used to dump the chemicals from the paper mill just directly into the Androscoggin River, and you could smell it from miles away. Yeah, we called it Evelyn and Rumford, or Ode to Rumford. It's pretty bad. It's been cleaned up, of course, ever since in the intervening time. It was a good thing. But they started their meetings from that little church with just a few folk in the Grange Hall down towards the center of town, and they only had a stop sign, just one big T intersection in the center of town. There was a stop sign. I think they got a light there now. Sorry, new technology. And once they get a crowd big enough, in financing, they dug a big hole in the ground up in the corner of Wells and Newton Avenue, and they filled it with a building. Big enough house, probably 150 people. And people were just getting changed. Their lives were changing for the better because they started believing in the Lord, and the drunks were drying out. The gossipers stopped. Heavy smokers stopped, even before the evils of cigarette smoking were known and thought about. That was one of the tenets of the Nazarene Church. Just be good to your body. And people roughing up their wives, they quit, they become gentle giants. It's all this good stuff happening. And the odd reaction of the town is they started gossiping about what's going on at the Church of the Nazarene. It sounds kind of weird. Is there some kind of new cult going on down there? And it wasn't too long, but I remember this. I was only 6 or 7 years old at the time. It was just kind of the church was in its beginnings, in the heyday. And a woman started attending the church, come in late and leave early, wearing sunglasses, wearing dark glasses. Now, back in those days, the only types of people who would wear dark glasses, there was either blind or there was movie stars. Now, she was getting along pretty good. She didn't have one of them white canes. She didn't have a seeing eye dog. Nobody was helping her along, so we could tell right away she wasn't blind. And frankly, a movie star up in Dixfield, that didn't make any sense. And frankly, although she wasn't bad looking, she didn't seem like she was good looking enough to be a movie star. So it's kind of odd, And she came in late and left early, didn't talk to anybody. And it lasted 2-3 weeks, and then we didn't see her again. So everybody wondered, what in the world was that about? Well, we found out later on what it was about. She had heard in the rumor mill there in Dixfield, is that my father was a hypnotist, and she wanted to check it out. See, but she didn't want to be affected by the hypnotic rays emanating from the man's eyeballs, and she didn't want to be affected by it, so she wore the sunglasses to protect herself. Can you imagine? If we'd known about it, if we'd known that what she was there for, I would have said, well, madam, are you sure that you're not taking an awful risk by not wearing your tin hat as well? Golly, if her heart was 3/4 as soft as her head, she might have found out what was really going on in that church, and that it was the love and grace of God that was changing lives and not hypnotism.